Hi everybody, my name is Ivan Romero, and today I want to talk about the evolution of blockchain. So far, every blockchain build has one thing in common. I'm not talking about decentralization, I'm not talking about smart contracts. I'm talking about that all our data is totally public. How we get into this point? We have the first generation, Bitcoin. The first generation. With Bitcoin, we achieve what we know as a digital money. So it was the first time we actually managed to transfer value without the need of a middleman, a bank. Then we have the second generation, Ethereum. It gives us the feature of smart contracts. So now the blockchain was programmable. And the third generation, Cardano, introduced a concept of proof of stake, and this allows us to run blockchains with scalability. But one thing in common in all these three generations was the lack of privacy. Then, to understand this concept, we go into this 2x2 matrix. I call it the privacy matrix. So in the upper part, we have value transfer, and we have states, the states of the smart contracts. In this other side, we have public, and we have private. So what we have in this first quadrant, value of transfer with public. We know what is that, Bitcoin. Done. What we have in smart contracts, public, Ethereum. Done. Then we have privacy with value of transfer. This is actually a new breakthrough blockchain called Zcash. Done. So actually what we see here, what it's missing is this fourth quadrant. It was the capacity of dealing with smart contracts, allowing privacy. So it was not until today, or these recent years, that it came midnight. So the purpose of today, I'm going to explain you guys in more details all these concepts, and without losing more time, let's go to it.
Okay, let me ask you something. You use the internet every single day. You send emails, you buy stuff online, you scroll through social media. And all of that because of protocols that were designed decades ago. HTTP, TCP/IP, SMTP. I know those are really boring acronyms, but they literally run the world. Now, here's the thing nobody talks about. None of those protocols were designed with privacy in mind. They were designed to move data, period. Who sees this information? Not their problem. Blockchain had the exact same blind spots. For 15 years, we built generation after generation of blockchain technology, and every single one of them left your data sitting in the open like a diary on a park bench until now. So, how we start all this? We have the first generation blockchain that was Bitcoin in 2009. It was the first time in human history that two strangers could transfer value over the internet without needing a bank, a government, or any trusted middleman. How does it work? Bitcoin uses proof of work consensus. Miners compete to solve cryptographic puzzles, and the winner gets to add the next block. I know this is really energy intensive, sure, but it's also battle tested. More than 15 years and nobody have ever hacked the system. The data model is called UTXO, unexpended transaction output. Think of it like cash. You don't have a balance in Bitcoin the way you have a balance in your bank account. Instead, you have a collection of unspent outputs from previous transactions, like a wallet full of specific bills, but you can build applications on it. Then we go to the second generation blockchain, Ethereum, created in 2015. Instead of Bitcoin's UTXO model, Ethereum uses an account-based model, more like a traditional bank account. You have a balance, and smart contracts have their own balances and states. Entire financial systems running on code with no central authority. Ethereum also went through a massive transition. It started with the proof of work, just like Bitcoin. But in September 2022, the merge, it switched to proof of stake. Instead of burning electricity to mine blocks, validators now lock up Ethereum as collateral. If they misbehave, they lose their stake. I know that is much greener, much more efficient. But here's the thing that didn't change: privacy. Ethereum is just as transparent as Bitcoin. Actually, it might be worse because now it's not just your transactions that are public, it's your entire application state. Then we go to the third generation blockchain, Cardano, created in 2017. Their consensus mechanism, Ouroboros, was the first proof of stake protocol with a formal mathematical security proof. The data model is what they call extended UTXO. It takes Bitcoin UTXO model and extends it so you can attach metadata to each output. It's not the easiest thing to learn, but it's designed for correctness. Cardano's focus was scalability, building a blockchain that could actually handle millions of users and prove mathematically that the protocol is secure. What about privacy? Yeah, it's still fully public, same as Bitcoin, same as Ethereum. Your transactions, your contract interactions, everything is visible to everyone. So after 3 generations, we have solved decentralized money, we have solved programmable money, we have solved scalability, but we still haven't solved privacy. Now we arrive into the privacy matrix. Picture a 2 by 2 grid. On one axis, you have the type of operation, simple value transfer versus smart contract states. On the other axis, you have visibility, and shielded, meaning public, versus shielded, meaning private. Let's fill in all the quadrants. Top left, public ledger. That's Bitcoin. Transparent value transfer. Field since 2009. Top right, public smart contracts. That's Ethereum. Transparent programmable state. Field since 2015. Bottom left, private ledger. That's Zcash, which launched in 2016. But Zcash only does private value transfer using zero knowledge proof, no general smart contracts. Bottom right, private smart contracts. And this quadrant was empty for years. Nobody managed to build a blockchain where you could run programmable logic, real smart contracts, while keeping the state private. Think about that. We had 3 out of 4 quadrants filled, and the most important one for real world applications, the one where business could actually use blockchain without exposing their trade secrets, customer data, and competitive strategies, was completely missing. That's the missing quadrant, and that's where Midnight enters the picture. Finally, we arrive into the fourth generation blockchain called Midnight, which is a Cardano partner chain, meaning it's connected to Cardano ecosystem but runs its own independent infrastructure. Its focus is privacy and selective disclosure. Not everything is hidden. That's really important. It's you choose what to reveal. That distinction is huge, and we will come back to it later. Let's look at some technical specifications. The language it uses is called Compact. This is Midnight smart contract language, and it's designed to feel familiar. If you know TypeScript, you can read Compact. The syntax, it's intentionally TypeScript-like to minimize the learning curve. But under the hood, Compact compiles down to zero-knowledge circuits. You write what looks like a normal code, and the compiler transforms it into cryptographic proofs. That's the magic trick. And the privacy model you choose. By default, everything is private. If you want something to be public for regulatory compliance or transparency, you can do it. The Kachina Protocol. This is the architecture that makes private smart contracts possible. Every contract has dual states, a private component that lives off-chain and a public component that lives on-chain for verification. Zero-knowledge proof bridge the two. They prove that the private computation was done correctly without revealing what the computation was. Now, let's talk about something clever. Midnight dual token model, Night and Dust. Night is a primary token, total supply 24 billion. It's unshielded, and it's what you would expect from a primary blockchain token. But here's the twist. Holding 9 passively generates Dust. Dust is the second token, and it's completely different from anything you have ever seen before in other blockchain. Dust is shielded. It's private. It's non-transferable. You literally cannot send it to another person, and it decays over time. If you don't use it, it slowly evaporates. What is Dust for? It pays transaction fees, and because Dust is shielded, even the fee amounts are hidden. So let's zoom out. First generation, Bitcoin proof decentralized money works. Second generation, Ethereum proof the blockchain can be programmable. Third generation, Cardano proof you can do it with scalability. Fourth generation, Midnight fills the missing quadrants. Private, programmable, and you choose what to reveal. For 15 years, blockchain had a fundamental contradiction. It promised freedom from centralized control, but it put all our data in a public glass box. Midnight is the first system that resolves that contradiction, not by making everything private, but by giving the control to choose what to reveal. And honestly, that might be the most important sentence in all blockchains. Thanks for watching, and if this helped, share it with someone who thinks blockchain is just about crypto and price charts. There's real engineering happening here, and it matters.